Can one of you explain to the audience what's going on today? What are we doing today?
We are doing what they call #Helix. And basically you guys submit your questions on Twitter. Just add us directly to our handles and ask us whatever you want to. Make requests about what you'd like to see us do. And we answer all your questions for the most part. And
make your dreams come true.
And then we start shooting.
Cool. And Alex is going to ask the questions from off camera. See. All right, cool. Let's do it. First question is from @TypicalCon for both of you. Why did you decide to join Helix?
Well, money's always nice. I enjoy it. But I'd been watching Helix for years and years, and I just thought they were a bunch of beautiful boys, and I thought I'd like to come and meet them all, and it's been amazing.
I didn't know where you were going with cum. For me, my biggest thing was I had watched it for quite a while as well. And like Danny said, money is a huge contributing factor. It's a really easy income, and if you really enjoy sex, if you have any kind of kinks, it's a great environment to explore them in, and knowing that you're with people that are being safe and with a team of producers and just a team of staff, period, that has your best interest at heart. It makes it a lot more comfortable than just hooking up with some rando at a bar.
Yeah.
Rando. Next question from Francis Mastro, @FrancisMastroMJ. Is Helix how you expected it to be, or is it somehow different?
Whew. Helix is nothing like I expected it to be. I thought this was just going to be a one-time deal. I was going to fly out, meet some really creepy producers and cameramen, and have sex in like a really sketchy area, and then just go back home. But oh no, these people make the environment feel so much safer, and it's just accepting, and I have never felt like I've been pushed to do anything that I didn't want to do. It's made the experience great.
Me neither.
For me, it was kind of, I had dated someone in the porn industry before.
Really?
And
who?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to answer.
Okay. And it was kind of interesting seeing the industry that he was in, because it's so much different than the environment here. It was very cut and dry, like very mechanical. There were nobody talked to each other offset. It was very just kind of closeted in a way.
It's a bummer.
And a lot of the models were actually straight, so a lot of them were gay for pay. And here, pretty much everybody is gay or bisexual at the very least. And so it just makes it a lot easier and a lot more comfortable to be yourself, and to have fun with each other for sure.
Next question from @Jawzod. What are your thoughts about the Helix fans, and does it feel weird having fans?
It was such a foreign concept when I first started working at Helix, and now I'll be at home on Grindr or Tinder, and people will be like, it's not okay to use other people's pictures, or I know you're trying to catfish people. And I'm like, no. But the fans are amazing. My confidence is through the roof because of you guys. I love it. And the few that I do get to interact with, like on a regular basis, they're just sweet people.
I really didn't expect it. I didn't expect for it to kind of, I guess, skyrocket and unfold as quickly as it did. Because I came out here, created my Twitter like Saturday night while I was here, and by the time I left, I already had 3,000 followers, so that was really nice. Everyone has been very loving and welcoming to the Helix family, and also the fans as well. So it's just really nice to kind of get that constant gratification, making you feel like you're doing something good and not just going and sticking your dick in somebody for a few hours and then you go home and nobody likes it. So
seeing how much you guys love it, and some of you love it, it's definitely rewarding.
Yeah.
Next question from @StraightUpGayPorn. To Danny, what is Ezra's sexiest feature? And to Ezra, what's the sexiest thing about Danny?
Wow, that's a toughie.
Where do I start?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Have you seen his eyes? I'd say that's definitely a 10 out of 10, but also that jawline. I'd have to say between the strong square jaw.
Sliced cheese on it.
Yeah. And those, like, piercing blue eyes.
For Danny, I would probably have to say either the way his eyes kind of, they like tell you what he's actually thinking if he's not speaking. Between that and just how like adorable his frame is, like I don't know, it like works for him entirely. Like he doesn't look like too skinny or anything. He looks like just perfectly framed, I guess.
Next question from at Remington Price 1. What was it like coming out of the closet?
Okay. My uncle, my mom's brother, is gay, and she loves him to death. They
Okay.
go everywhere together, and so it was pretty easy to come out to her. When I came out to my dad, he thought I was joking the first time, so I had to wait like a week and be like, no, for real, Dad, I love men. And it took him a while. It took him until my younger brother came out too for him to fully just accept it and realize that he just made a bunch of gay boys, and he has to deal with it.
That's oh, you have brothers who are gay?
Yeah.
That's great.
So, yeah.
For me, coming out was not really as terrifying of an experience as I made it out to be for as long as I did. I was so scared of, just like everybody's biggest fear is getting kicked out of your house, your parents not accepting you, anything like that. And my mom, I actually came out at Thanksgiving. I was sitting at the Thanksgiving table with my entire family.
Oh my goodness.
And my boyfriend at the time, it was my first boyfriend, his parents had gone to Turkey for vacation, ironically, Turkey for Thanksgiving. And they had gone overseas and he didn't want to go with them. And so I asked my mom if it was okay that he came to Thanksgiving with us, and he did. And we played sports with each other in high school, so it was always really easy to spend time with each other and it not look weird.
Yeah.
And so I came out at the dinner table. We were going around saying what we were thankful for, and I just kind of was like, yeah, I'm thankful for this guy right here.
And then you leaned over and started making out.
I wish. I thought about it. But right after I did it, everybody got like really silent, and I was like, so? And my mom was like, I mean, we all kind of knew. And I was
Okay,
like,
good.
why would you not say anything? Like, I mean, if you see something, say something. But it was like, I don't know, it was like for so long I was so afraid of how they would react. And my sister knew, she said she knew when I was like 4. And then my mom has like pretty much known for a really long time, so it was always just, I made it out to be so much bigger than it needed to be.
Did he know that you were going to do that, or did you just...
Oh no,
Oh my God,
I
you
totally
asshole.
did it like on the, like just out of the blue.
I would feel so awkward. I'd be like, hi everyone.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you all.
He got really flushed. It was really cute.
Oh my God. Okay, next question. From at Enigma Anil. For both of you, do your family and friends know that you do porn? And if so, what were their reactions?
When I came out here the first time, it was Pride in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from, and my mom had called me to see what I was doing that weekend because we always are in touch, and I was like, don't even worry about it. I'm just doing gay stuff. And she thought I was up at Pride, and then when I did tell her after I got back, I was planning on keeping it my dirty little secret, but I had so much fun and I just wanted to talk about it with everyone. So I ended up telling her, and she just paused for a long time, and she was like, so that's what you're doing when you say gay shit. And I was like, yeah, you got me. That's what I was doing. She handled it pretty well. She said if it was like, she said it wasn't the career she would pick for me, but she's like, do whatever you want to do. And my dad, he has no room to judge anyone for anything. So he was like, okay, cool. I told him over the phone last time I was out here, and he's like, okay. All right, love you, son. Talk to you later. And I was like, all right, love you, Dad. Bye.
It seems like everybody's mom is more worried about them getting kidnapped and sent to Mexico than...
Yeah, really.
Yeah. My mom was
Literally
like, share
everybody
your
says that.
location. Let me know where you're at, what you're doing.
With me, it was, I didn't tell anybody. I still haven't told anybody. 2 of my closest best friends know, and that's it. And one of them's gay, and I was like, I told him, and he was like, "Oh my God, can we have a viewing party?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "We are not having a party with all of our gay friends, and we're not gonna sit down and watch my dick go in and out of somebody else."
You got there and it was already paused on the...
Right.
They're like, surprise!
From at Jesse From at Jesse Stefanov, for both of you, if you could do a scene with any celebrity, who would it be?
They gotta be beautiful and have that, like, suave attitude, too.
Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Definitely
from what movie?
Crybaby.
Oh,
Nice.
that's a good one.
Oh,
yeah.
wow,
I would
okay,
like-
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Charlie and the Chocolate.
The top hat really gets me there.
The
definitely
bob.
Crybaby though. That's,
Yeah, he looked good in that.
Yeah, he was so sexy, and he was still so young, and like, he was just shiny. Like the whole movie, I just wanted to like fuck the shit out of him.
I love it.
Okay. Alive or dead, doesn't matter.
Either from any time period, any age.
Okay, Heath Ledger, for sure.
Oh, I didn't even think
In what
about
movie?
that.
Oh, goodness.
10 Things I Hate About You.
What was that?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh my god. Yeah, just like a younger version of him is fine, but
You don't want the Joker?
he'll be beautiful forever. Only if he has the
Make
full
my
makeup and
penis
everything. Why so serious?
Why don't you smile?
From at Mansambam. Did either of you have a crush on any Helix models before you joined?
It's embarrassing because I know they're probably gonna see this now.
Goddamn right.
Evan Parker, for sure. Like, every time I search Helix, I'd definitely throw in Evan Parker.
I had a huge crush on Joey. As soon as I first saw him, he kind of reminds me of him as far as like his frame and everything. He's just very like petite and a little bit smaller. He's a little bit, I think he may be taller than you.
Yeah, I think so.
But he's still like very slender and just petite, and he's really adorable.
Next question from at Grocery Gay. I don't think anyone else has asked, so tell us about your tattoos.
You can go first.
Okay. I got my first one. It says adapt in Hebrew. And I just thought it was very fitting for the way that I have to live my life in every sense of the matter, because it's kind of something that you never really get to know what's coming at you next. And something that Charlize Theron said in an interview with Chelsea Handler, she said that no matter how you're trying to make it or where you're trying to make it, the struggle never stops. It just consistently changes. So I was inspired by that and got that one. And then this was my second one. It's the coordinates to the only home I can really consider a childhood home. I was a military brat, and we were in this house from the age of 3 until I was about 13 or 14. So it was the only one that I could ever really consider a childhood home. And then this was my third one. It says saudade in Portuguese, and it is basically just, it means like you have an intense nostalgia for something that you've lost or someone that you have lost. And I got it in dedication to my dad and also my uncle. My uncle passed away when I was 10. I felt like I needed to get something in dedication to them, and I didn't want to get something I didn't want to make my body look like a tombstone. So I was like, this is pretty. And then my last one is my most recent one. I was just like, this was what I wanted to get originally. This was what I was planning on having as my first tattoo, and it just didn't happen because I was chicken shit. And it says, in the moment that I truly understand my enemy, I also love him. And that's just kind of my mantra that I live with.
I'll go in chronological order. This was my first tattoo. I slightly regret it. I just wish I had gotten it on a different part of my body. But it says, the ones you love become ghosts inside of you, and like this you keep them alive. And I got it because within a short period I had a few people that were close to me pass away. And I just believe as long as I have their memory with me, they live on. And then the second one that I got, I believe, was this, and no deep meaning here. I just really love the band Pink Floyd.
Yes.
It's like what bonds my dad and like my brothers and I. And so, yeah, this is just like
From
for
the
them. I love this bitch. She's my number one. I can tell her everything, and she can make me laugh when I want to cry. She's just an amazing woman. And then I got this little tree on my ankle. Yeah. I actually, funny story about this one. I got the top half done in my dad's garage by his ex-girlfriend. Didn't turn out too well. No. So I went to a tattoo shop and got the rest of it finished. And then at the same time as I finished that one, I got this one, which is like a little fern. In Oregon, pine trees and ferns are like, we have really, really thick green forests, and it's just full of ferns and pine trees. And growing up, I basically lived in the woods in Oregon because we camped all day, all the time. So, yeah, those are my tattoos. And there will be many more to come.
Okay, the next question is from Miss C.J. Willis. For both guys, if I came to your house for dinner, what would you cook for me? P.S. I love you guys.
Oh, love you too.
So what would you guys cook for Miss C.J. Willis?
I'm actually a huge cook, and I'm kind of a melting pot of ethnicities, so I know how to cook a ton of things. Probably my go-to dish, though, if I'm trying to impress someone, is a Cuban dish called pollo a la plancha. And it is essentially just a grilled chicken breast that you sear and kind of sort of saute with onions. And then you like top it with sauteed grilled onions, and you make like a small little mountain of yellow rice. And then you can make either sweet plantains or tostones, and
I love
I prefer tostones. So I'm a cum whore for tostones, and I will make those things all day long. They're the best thing ever, and it's like such a great alternative for eating like potatoes or something like super starchy. So that would probably be what I would cook.
Ooh.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What are tostones?
They're fried plantains. You cut them up, and then you deep fry 'em. Or you can pan fry them too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They're really
interesting.
yummy. My dad makes them.
Oh, I'm no chef. So if I could get through it without burning down the kitchen, I'd probably just make some like pesto chicken and
Yummy.
Yeah, just something. I don't know. I've been obsessed with pesto chicken. It's just been on my mind 24/7, and I think I've gotten it down pretty well. So come on over, I'll treat you.
Okay, next question from at xfired20992200y. For
Wow.
both of you, what books are you guys reading now? And at Remington Price 1 wants to know what your favorite book is.
Okay. Right now I'm actually currently reading The Alchemist. I bought about 10 books the other day and posted a picture on Twitter and asked for everybody's opinion on what I should read, and the majority said The Alchemist. There were a couple that said The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell, but I had already read that one, and The Alchemist just seemed like what I needed to be reading. And I'm about 2/3 of the way through it right now since I've been here. It's very, very enlightening. There's a ton of metaphors that are just really, they're very like Buddhist centralized, and I'm a Buddhist, so it kind of works in my favor. So they're easy to understand, but it's a really good book. And my favorite book would probably be,
Twilight.
no, God, no. I'm a sucker for classics, and when I was learning French, I actually read the entire original unabridged version of The Count of Monte Cristo in
cool.
French, and that's probably one of the best books I think I've ever read. It was like over 1,000 pages long.
I love it.
And
Alexandre Dumas.
Yeah, and that was the only thing I read for like probably 2 weeks before I finished it.
It's a good one. How about you, Dan?
This is not a good question for me. I'm not a very avid reader, but when I do find a good book, I'll devour it. It's been hard for me lately. I've been searching. This fella recommended quite a few good books that I think I'm going to look into now, but golly. I can't pick a favorite book, but I like
Good Night Moon.
It's definitely not.
older me was a big fan of John Green, and I love anything horror or dark. So some Stephen King books I do.
What's your
like.
favorite Stephen King novel?
The Cell. It's a ridiculous story. It's like cell
not familiar
phones
with that one. I don't remember.
like make people go crazy and they start killing each other.
Oh,
It's
so
great.
it's got to be newer than if it's about cell phones. Cool. Next question from Francis Mastro MJ. Love or sex? You're forced to give up one of them forever. Which one will you choose?
That's a pretty simple question. I would have to say sex.
Yeah, as long as I'm still allowed to pleasure myself,
Yeah.
then I'd have to give up sex.
Loophole.
Loopholes.
From @Jesse Stefanov. For both of you, you can only choose one for the rest of your life. Bottoming or topping?
Probably topping. I'm versatile in my personal life, so I really like to, especially if I'm in a relationship, I kind of like to just like constantly flip fuck every time I have a chance to. But yeah, I would probably have to say topping for sure.
Cool.
I feel like I can't accurately answer this question because I've never really had the chance to top. But
Oh, really?
Yeah. I do love me some good dick though, so I think I'd be happy bottoming.
From @Nokia24. For both of you, what part of a man's body do you prefer?
Even though I'm a bottom, I love a good ass, like just nice and perky. So I'd have to say ass, and stomach's super important too, but all about the booty.
I am definitely a sucker for a good ass. It would probably either be a tie between that and like shoulders, like really broad defined shoulders that are just like ready to take control of you. That's probably the two biggest features I look for. That and a smile. God, smile for sure. Yeah.
The shoulders the muscles when they're getting out of the pool.
Yes.
Next question from @RomeoDude111. Ezra, what sports have you participated in? You definitely look like a wrestler.
A wrestler? I've never heard that before. When I was in middle school, I did track and field, and I played soccer one year. I absolutely hated it. I had a crush on this one guy that was on the team, and that was the only reason I even played. And then when I got to high school, that's actually how I met my first boyfriend. He was the cross-country team captain and the swim captain. And I did swim, cross-country, and track and field all the way up until senior year.
Oh, right. That was only an Ezra question.
Yeah. I'm so left out.
From @EnzoRosso_. What's your guys' dream job for the future, for both of you?
For a while it was deaf education. I wanted to teach. I can show.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was deaf education.
Everybody thinks that I say dead. No, deaf education.
No, like deaf as in definitely.
I wanted to teach history at a deaf school, but now I don't really know what I want to do. Something still in the deaf community for sure. I feel like sign language is so expressive and like it's just a fun language, and the deaf community is so accepting, so fun. They're good people.
That's cute.
For me, I would probably have to say I was in school for neuroscience, and I had plans to get my bachelor's in neuroscience as well as my master's, and do a lot of research field work while I was getting my doctorate in medicine. And I'm in the military as well, so I'm a surgical assistant in the military, so I get to stand in on surgeries. I get to pass off medical equipment. Sometimes I even get to participate in the actual physical part of the surgery. Get to hold a spleen every once in a while. That's pretty cool. So that was always something that I really saw myself doing. And then the more that I've gotten into my fitness and into exercise and working with a personal trainer, which I've been doing for almost a year now, And it was like once I started really getting into that, I kind of decided that I would like to kind of stay in the exercise science field, and I would like to open up a gym. And I also have started personal training with like young adults that have special needs. So I work with people that have ADS, which is the formal anagram for autism, and people that have other kind of disabilities like Down syndrome and things like that. And so it's been really rewarding working with them, kind of having that really strong like one-on-one connection.
Cool. Can somebody please make a gif of that reaction that Danny did when you said that you held a spleen? That was perfect.
I can't even imagine. Like, human spleen is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's cute.
You, like, stand there while someone's, like, cut open on a table. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I'd pass out.
All right, great. Next question from at Darcy Change. Vocal or quiet? I assume he means during sex.
I'd say in my personal life, not as vocal, but it definitely depends on how hard I'm getting fucked. Like, if we're going nice and slow, then it's those sensual, you know, quiet, soft moans. But if you're pounding me, then I'm gonna be screaming. So it really just depends.
For me, it would probably depend on the last time I bottomed. Because if I'm bottoming, it's a lot more verbal, just because I'm not really that used to it.
Right, so let's get to the next question. From at Jawzod. Danny, would you like to make a DP scene?
Whew, I would. I'm a little scared, but that's actually sounds really, really hot. I'm very interested.
Nice. From at Jesse Stefanov, for both of you, what's your biggest turn on during sex?
This boy figured it out real quick. Like, heavy breathing and, like, neck kissing, it literally gives my whole body goosebumps.
Literally. He's not joking.
It makes me weak in the knees, and I just, it'll get me there in a hot second.
I love it.
For me, especially since I got my nipple pierced, nipple play is really intense. And I actually, a guy that I was having sex with decided to bite the bar. And he was like, and I was like, no.
Cool. From next request from right. Okay, first request is from at Jawzon, and it's Ezra, can you spank Danny a little bit during the scene?
I would be honored.
And then next request is from at Francis Mastro MJ. Can Ezra please show off his thighs and flex them? Yeah.